At various points in life, we encounter uncertainty about what to do next. Before university, the question arises about which course to choose. Upon completing our studies, we find ourselves facing the dilemma, what now? What are the plans and dreams? These questions are common to all of us. Sometimes, we have clear ideas, but we lack the knowledge of how to make them a reality. Today, we will explore the journey of Nike, the global giant in the sports world, and uncover the secrets that shaped its rise. According to Forbes, in 2023, Phil Knight was ranked as the 25th richest person in the world. It may seem evident now that his success was the result of a solid and meticulous plan, the product of a young man who understood his life goals. However, that is not the complete story behind this triumph. Born on February 24, 1938, in Portland, USA, Phil completed his journalism degree in 1958. During his education, he was involved in athletics and worked as a sports reporter for the school newspaper. This passion for sports was already intertwined in his life. After a stint in the U.S. Army, from which he emerged with frustration, he enrolled in an MBA program in business administration at Stanford University. Here begins his entrepreneurial journey. Like any business student, he nurtured the desire to have his own venture. However, he lacked the necessary knowledge to realize this ambition. The idea was there. He wanted to create a business focused on selling sneakers. But the execution remained a mystery. By chance, he learned that the Japanese were experimenting with new sneaker designs. This information intrigued him. Production in Japan would be more cost-effective. Moreover, there was the context of the time when Japanese companies like Nikon and Canon outperformed German products, demonstrating quality and excellence. The question that lingered was, could Japanese running shoes surpass the German ones? At that time, the American market was dominated by German brands Puma and Adidas. Based on his university lessons, Phil began to see a great opportunity in importing shoes from Japan. When he shared this idea with friends, many could not see what he saw. The first barrier had emerged, overcoming self-doubt, and consequently, the doubt of others. This was both a psychological and practical obstacle. He had no connections in Japan, was unaware of the complexities of importation, and was not a sneaker expert. The question persisted, was it possible? After his graduation and without a job, he returned to his parents' home. An inner voice whispered, "My life is passing by. I need to do something meaningful." This feeling probably resonates with many who watch this video. Faced with an uncertain future, he made the decision to embark on a journey around the world with a friend. They visited numerous countries until they parted ways in Hawaii. At this point, he already knew which direction to go. Remember, he had no experience in this type of business. Arriving in Japan in 1962, as he walked the streets, a pair of Onitsuka Tiger sneakers caught his attention. The exceptional quality and relatively low price impressed him. Driven by a mix of nervousness and excitement, he contacted the owners of the brand and scheduled a meeting. Wearing a suit and carrying a book on negotiations with the Japanese, he attended the meeting, even though he did not have a company, presenting himself as an American sneaker distributor. Despite his young age and inexperience, he had done his homework. He was well informed about the statistics of the American sneaker market and had even formulated a business model to challenge German supremacy in the United States during his studies at Stanford. Although he was in an atypical situation, he did remarkably well. The Japanese were impressed with his presentation. However, they asked a question that could alter the course of things. Which company do you represent? Quick in thought, he evoked a childhood memory and replied, Ribbon Sports. Obviously, Blue Ribbon Sports did not exist yet. The deal was sealed. He became the distributor for Onitsuka Tiger in the United States. After a few months, the sneakers finally arrived. While waiting, Phil worked as an accountant, but this experience did not please him. By the time 12 pairs of sneakers finally arrived, he presented them to his former university coach for evaluation. Surprisingly, he liked the sneakers so much that he decided to join the business. This collaboration was ideal since Bill Bowerman was obsessed with athletic performance and had deep knowledge of running shoes, having coached Olympic athletes. Thus, with a capital of $500 each, Blue Ribbon Sports was born. All the money was invested in purchasing 300 pairs of Onitsuka Tiger sneakers. After a few unsuccessful sales attempts, Phil realized that he would have to take on the task of selling the sneakers himself. Tired of waiting for the perfect circumstance, he loaded the sneakers into the trunk of his car and offered them at running events. His passion and association with Bill made sales easier. In 3 months, all 300 pairs were sold. With the profits from this venture, they placed a new order for 900 pairs. This was the beginning of Blue Ribbon Sports. From there, they hired representatives to boost sales, and the growth continued. Until that moment, they were merely Japanese sneaker distributors. But how did the Nike brand emerge? As sales increased, they realized that obtaining large quantities of sneakers from the Japanese was becoming challenging. They discovered that the Japanese prioritized their domestic market and sold surplus stock in the United States. Phil made a trip to Japan to boost demand, but was surprised to learn that Onitsuka Tiger was seeking more professional suppliers for the American market. This situation left Phil discouraged but also motivated to take action. What if they produced their own sneakers instead of just distributing them? Bingo! This idea, born out of necessity, would transform into the iconic Nike brand we know today. Bill Bowerman, with his extensive knowledge of sneaker design, played a leading role in this transformation. The most successful Onitsuka Tiger sneaker in the United States was of his design. Therefore, a name change was necessary. With ideas swirling, an employee suggested the name Nike, which means the goddess of victory and seemed to have great appeal. With the name decided, all that remained was to create a logo. Phil hired the first design student he found at a university, and for $35, she created the iconic company logo. Later, when Nike went public, she was awarded company shares. The company was growing rapidly, which often resulted in cash flow challenges. The solution to this obstacle was to go public, further driving its progress. After going public, Nike reached a new level and advanced by leaps and bounds to become the global leader in the sports market. The trajectory was solidified, with an inspiring story underpinning its success. However, in 1991, the company's reputation took a major hit. Jeffrey Ballinger released a report titled Behind the Swoosh, revealing near-slave labor conditions in underdeveloped countries where Nike produced its sneakers. The documentary tells the story of Jim Keed, a successful coach at St. John's University. When he refused a $3.5 million contract from Nike, he was fired. His refusal was based on the exploitation of labor, low wages, and physical, verbal, and sexual abuse faced by workers in Nike factories. He then moved to Indonesia, where he lived among factory workers in dire conditions, earning a daily wage of $1.25 and sleeping on the cement floor. In 2001, another documentary, produced by the BBC, exposed the inhumane conditions in a Nike factory in Cambodia. The accusations were severe, sparking a wave of outrage against the brand. The exploitation of labor led to contract losses, resulting in a 15% drop in the company's stock value. Although Nike made efforts to improve working conditions, allegations have never completely disappeared, and from time to time, episodes of this kind emerge. The following decade was dedicated to restoring the company's image, a process that had a significant impact. However, Nike has always demonstrated skill in marketing strategies, carefully assessing risks when launching campaigns. This approach won the sympathy of the public and solidified the brand. A notable example is the Just Do It campaign, which captivated the public and reinforced the company's identity. Nike became the leading global sports brand and is the only one in the industry to be among the world's top 100 largest companies. All of this is thanks to the boldness of its founder, who ultimately achieved great success. If you have a plan in mind, follow the example of Phil and simply put it into action. Thank you for following along. If you can, please like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. We will continue to keep an eye on the world around us.